Welcome to AI Unveiled.
In corporate boardrooms across Silicon Valley, the soft hum of data centers masks a revolution that's reshaping the very architecture of power. On July 23rd, 2025, a 23-page document landed on executive desks worldwide, President Trump's AI Action Plan. But here's what the headlines missed. This isn't just policy. This is the blueprint for a technological Cold War, where the stakes aren't just market share, but the fundamental question of who writes the rules for artificial intelligence. Welcome back to another episode of AI Unveiled. I'm your host, Asif Waliuddin, founder and intelligent systems architect at NxtG.ai. For over 20 years, I've helped shape the digital transformation of global enterprises, from IBM's scale to ServiceNow's agility. And I've seen how policy shifts don't just ripple through tech, they redefine entire industries. But what we witnessed this week isn't just another regulatory adjustment. It's a seismic shift that demands your immediate attention. From our vantage point at NxtG.ai, closely tracking industry trends, I can tell you that Trump's AI Action Plan represents more than political theater. It's a strategic recalibration that will fundamentally alter how we think about AI development, deployment, and competitive advantage. Today, we're diving deep into the hype versus reality of this plan. What does it actually mean for your business? Which companies are positioned to win? And which might find themselves unexpectedly vulnerable? And most importantly, how should enterprise leaders be thinking about their AI strategies in this new landscape?
Segment 1. The Silicon Shuffle.
Let's start with what I'm calling the Silicon Shuffle, the immediate winners and losers emerging from this policy shift. Through ongoing conversations with startup founders and tech innovators across our network, one thing has become crystal clear. This isn't just about removing regulations. It's about restructuring the entire competitive landscape. The big winners, Meta, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, are breathing a collective sigh of relief. The plan explicitly calls for reviewing all Federal Trade Commission probes and settlements from the Biden era to ensure they don't unduly burden AI innovation. But here's the nuance the market analysts are missing. This creates what I call regulatory arbitrage opportunities. Companies that were previously constrained by antitrust concerns now have a green light to pursue aggressive AI partnerships and acquisitions. We're likely to see a surge in so-called quasi-acquisitions, where tech giants pay massive licensing fees and hire entire startup teams without triggering traditional merger reviews.
Real-world application.
From the trenches at NxtG.ai, we see the policy ripple effects unfolding in real time. Imagine a Fortune 500 manufacturer poised to implement AI across their supply chain, but until now constrained by fears of regulatory backlash and data sovereignty risks. That hesitation, it's beginning to disappear. Now, the streamlined approach creates a clear path forward. We're already seeing enterprises accelerate their cloud AI partnerships, knowing they have regulatory cover to pursue the most advanced solutions available. But here's where it gets interesting, and where the hype needs to meet reality. The plan's emphasis on open source AI models creates a fascinating paradox. While big tech benefits from reduced regulatory scrutiny, they also face increased competition from open source alternatives that are now explicitly government-backed.
Segment 2. The Chip Wars Escalate.
Now, let's talk about semiconductors, because this is where the action plan reveals its true strategic intent. Nvidia presents the perfect case study in policy complexity. On one hand, the company just received clearance to resume AI chip sales to China, a move worth billions in revenue. On the other hand, the action plan calls for monitoring the locations of AI chips and plugging loopholes, in export controls. Drawing from over 2 decades in technology leadership, I've seen how quickly geopolitical winds can shift supply chains. What we're witnessing isn't just policy adjustment, it's the weaponization of technology dependencies.
Real-world application.
Let me share a scenario that's keeping CTOs awake at night. Imagine you're the chief technology officer of a global automotive manufacturer. Your autonomous vehicle program depends on cutting-edge AI chips, but your supply chain spans multiple countries with varying regulatory frameworks. The action plan's full-stack AI export packages requirement means you can't just buy chips. You need to adopt entire American technology stacks. This creates what I call ecosystem lock-in. It's not enough to have the best individual components. You need integrated American solutions from hardware to software to models. At NxtG.ai, we're watching enterprise teams scramble to reassess their AI foundations. It's not just about chip origin anymore, it's about stack allegiance. And for many, that question, how American is our AI, reveals more risk than readiness. Here's the strategic reality. Countries like France and their AI champion Mistral suddenly find themselves in a bind. If AI chips sold to European markets must run American models, European AI sovereignty becomes a mirage. This isn't just about technology. It's about digital colonization disguised as trade policy.
Segment 3. The energy equation.
But perhaps the most underreported aspect of the action plan is its focus on energy infrastructure. And this is where enterprise leaders need to pay closest attention. Through ongoing conversations with startup founders and tech innovators, one theme keeps emerging. Energy has become the ultimate bottleneck in AI deployment. The action plan acknowledges this reality by streamlining power grid connections and ensuring all energy sources, including coal and natural gas, remain online.
Real-world application.
Through our work at NxtG.ai, a clear trend has emerged. Enterprises are shifting from cloud tenancy to infrastructure ownership. Why? Because energy isn't just an operational cost. It's now a strategic asset that defines the limits of AI capability. Here's a calculation that should concern every enterprise AI team. Advanced AI models require exponentially more energy than traditional computing workloads. A single large language model training run can consume as much electricity as 100 homes use in a year. The action plan's focus on energy infrastructure isn't environmental policy. It's national AI security policy. This creates what I call the energy AI nexus. Companies that can secure reliable, cost-effective energy access will have a structural advantage in deploying AI at scale. Those that can't will find themselves constrained not by technology, but by kilowatts. The business implication? AI strategy and energy strategy are now inseparable. Your next AI deployment discussion should include your facilities team, not just your technology team.
Segment 4. The competitive reality check.
Now let's address the elephant in the room. Google versus OpenAI, and what the action plan means for the broader competitive landscape. The numbers tell a story that policy papers can't capture. Google's Gemini has 450 million monthly active users. Impressive until you realize OpenAI generates over $830 million in monthly revenue. This isn't just about user counts. It's about monetization models and sustainable competitive advantage. Over 2 decades in this space, I've watched regulation act not as a brake, but a catalyst, speeding up the trajectories already set in motion. That's why the action plan's focus on bias-free AI isn't just cultural, it's commercial. From our vantage point at NxtG.ai, we're seeing enterprises increasingly concerned about AI model reliability and consistency. The requirement for objective, bias-free AI systems in federal procurement creates a new quality standard that will likely cascade to private sector requirements. Here's the strategic reality that most commentary is missing. The action plan isn't just changing the rules of the game, it's changing the definition of winning. Success in AI is no longer just about model performance or user adoption. It's about alignment with policy objectives, supply chain resilience, and energy efficiency. This creates opportunities for new players and threatens established leaders in unexpected ways. The next wave of AI unicorns won't just have superior technology, they will have superior regulatory positioning.
Your actionable takeaways.
So, what does this mean for your business? Let me leave you with 3 actionable insights. First, conduct an AI supply chain audit. Don't just map your current AI vendors, understand the entire dependency chain from chips to models to cloud infrastructure. The action plan makes supply chain transparency a competitive advantage. Second, reassess your energy strategy. If you're serious about AI at scale, energy access is becoming as critical as network connectivity was in the .com era. Consider direct power purchase agreements and on-site generation as strategic AI enablers. Third, embrace regulatory positioning. The companies that will thrive aren't just those with the best technology, but those that can navigate the evolving regulatory landscape most effectively. Make compliance a competitive advantage, not a cost center. Grounded in practical applications we're actively deploying at NxtG.ai. These aren't theoretical considerations. They're the strategic imperatives shaping our client conversations today.
Final thoughts.
The future of AI isn't being written in research labs. It's being written in policy documents, boardrooms, and the strategic decisions you make today. Trump's AI action plan isn't just a government initiative. It's a forcing function that will separate the strategically prepared from the tactically reactive. As we work with enterprise leaders navigating this transformation, one reality stands out. The advantage now lies with those who recognize and respond to change early. Everyone else? They'll be racing to catch up in a landscape already rewritten. Remember to always question the hype, embrace the reality, and stay one step ahead of the future.
AI Unveiled is brought to you by NxtG.ai, where conversation meets creation. If you're serious about building the future of AI, you belong with us. Tap the show notes for deep dive reports, behind-the-scenes insights, and early access drops. Let's build smarter together.